Three mothers and their children were playing a game at home when they heard their father coming home and immediately stood in a row with their hands outstretched. The man enters and starts to check the palms one by one, front and back, and it's easy to imagine that he's raising them in an extreme way. After confirming that there was no problem, he gave the two children a cookie. The woman who didn't get a cookie cried in frustration, but the man warned her that she couldn't do that in front of the children. The man warned her not to cry in front of the children and to remember the rules. Late that night, the woman finally managed to escape from the prison where she'd been held for 13 years. When she saw a car passing by, she knew it was her only chance to survive and desperately ran towards the highway. Unfortunately, the woman was hit by a speeding car and seriously injured. While the doctor was determining the condition of her injuries, the girl reminded the doctor that her mother's blood type was a rare AB negative blood type, which she said she had been told by her mother. Soon the ambulance returned to the hospital. Doctors and nurses rushed to take the woman into the hospital to save her life, and no one had time to take care of the child. It seemed to be the first time for the little girl to come to this kind of place. She memorized all the words on the sign and then started to count one step at a time. Maybe it was the only thing she could do to pass the time. It wasn't long before Lucy, the nurse who was looking after her, came over, and the girl's first instinct was to hold out her hands for her to be examined. We found out the girl's name was Hannah and her mother's name was Lena. As the driver of the car that hit Lena fled, Lucy began to ask Hannah if she knew what had happened. Instead, Hannah said the driver was not at fault. According to her, the driver had been taking care of her mother, but had run away just before the ambulance arrived. And the reason she thought the driver wasn't at fault was because she thought her mother was always doing something wrong and was always clumsy, so she couldn't blame the driver. She said her mother always did things wrong and broke the rules at home, and sometimes she would get dizzy and hit the corner of the table. I'm afraid she'll fall down the toilet, so I always go with her to the bathroom. Lucy thought Lena was an alcoholic, so she asked the child if her mom drank a lot, but she replied that she only drank water. At first, Lucy thought the child was just having strange thoughts, but what Hannah said next turned her assumptions upside down. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Lucy immediately called the police. Not long after, female detectives arrived at the hospital. Lucy told them that the child didn't want to give out her home address, saying it was a family rule and that it was their secret. She had to order her subordinates to return to the scene of the accident while she stayed behind to do a detailed investigation. Since the psychologist hadn't arrived yet, she had to look elsewhere. But strangely, the doctor told her that Lena's blood type wasn't rare at all. But Hannah says that's what her mom told her. So the doctor wasn't sure if Lena was lying or Hannah was lying.